Search AskReddit. What knowledge might save your life one day? If a rhino is running towards you, wait until the last second then sidestep out of the way. Rhinos cannot make sudden turns and will give you a couple seconds head start to run in the other direction. Repeat as necessary. Far Cry trained me well for this. CPR doesn't wake up a person. It's to force blood to their brain to prevent brain death so that the EMTs can revive that person. And find a CPR buddy to switch with regularly. Even if they don't know CPR. Coach them through it, but if at all possible don't do it alone. Why? Because it is super taxing and your arms will get tired and hurt really fast. And as said, you can't stop. Polar bears have insane ADHD. If one is chasing you, intermittently drop clothing items like a hat or gloves. It will stop to sniff them. Normal prey animals don't shed whole pieces of themselves. The bear will be perplexed. So on Reddit somewhere else. If you call 911, always say where the problem is first, followed by the problem. If you happen to get cut off before you can say what the problem is, at least the dispatcher has a location to send an officer to check it out and advise if more police or fire is needed. Example, operator, 911 where is your emergency? You. Help I am being stabbed. Disconnect versus operator, 911 where is your emergency? You. 742 Evergreen Terrace. Help I am. Disconnect. Location. 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 Sideshow Bob can stab faster than you can explain. Makes sense. A friend was carjacked. Guy told her to start driving. So she did. Right into a cement pillar. Airbag hit the jacker and broke his arm. She ran into the store while he was disoriented. Kept hitting lock button on her key fob to keep him in the car until the cops showed up. Gun wasn't even loaded. Insurance elected to raise on her because of the accident, though, so that may not be the best way to handle it. Insurance can go get ducked. I drop the company and gladly pay more elsewhere if it meant I saved my life. Kept hitting lock button on her key fob to keep him in the car until the cops showed up. This painted a hilarious picture in my head. I remember reading in a Reddit post similar to this, that if you can't do a pull-up you probably won't have the strength to pull yourself up off a ledge, and that has stuck with me ever since. In theory it's very true, but I would guess most people could if some serious adrenaline is involved. Have you seen most people? Parks motorized scooter in the middle of the aisle in Walmart. What are you trying to imply? Edit. Thanks for all the awards, everyone. I will move my scooter just as soon as I grab this case of Diet Pepsi. All snakes in Victoria, Australia are venomous. Just assume all snakes are venomous and stay away. If you've been buried alive in a standard coffin, stay calm. If you are alive you haven't been buried that long. Also the dirt above you hasn't set yet. Most coffins are not built to last once buried and as a result have weak siding. So here is what you do. Pull your shirt over your head. You don't want to be swallowing dirt. Position yourself so you are as sideways in the coffin as possible with hands and feet pushing on the long sides. Push. You should be able to blow out one of the walls. Start crawling up. Do not panic. You may not find a grip immediately. Keep going until you make it out. Worst nightmare. Just reading that made me uncomfortable. If you have to get out of a moving car then put one foot down and take a step, don't just jump out. This will reduce your speed immensely. Sure you will fall over but at a much reduced speed. A stuntman told me this. I had to leave a moving car that was going about 40 miles per hour. I was pregnant. I had a medium-sized purse and a pillow. The man driving the car had said he was going to kill us both if he couldn't have me and was going in and out of oncoming traffic. I grabbed my bag and pillow and held the pillow across my stomach and opened the door and thought if I go like a rag doll except my arm holding my stomach and my other arm with my purse covered my face, but everything else I tried to relax. I stepped out and let myself fall and roll. It was amazing. I ended up with just a handful of bruises and scrapes and I was fine. And my daughter is 14 now. We made it. What won't kill you in Australia? The wildlife. What will kill you? Getting lost in the outback. If you're lost and out of fuel, stay with your vehicle. Move as little as possible during the day and stay in the shade. Conserve water. Rip off wing mirrors to shine at any search planes. You can drink your urine approx 1-3 times before your kidneys start to pack it in. This is absolute last resort. To be fair, the wildlife can also kill you. Plot twist. Lost in the Australian outback and Aru enters the passenger seat, points a gun at your head, and tells you to relocate. Say no and throw your keys out the window. When people say to take an aspirin to help during a heart attack, chew the pill. Don't swallow it whole. It gets absorbed much quicker. If a person asks you for something in the street, a light, the time, whatever, always keep the person in your eye line. So if they ask for the time, don't just look down at your watch. Raise your arm slightly so your watch is in sight. I was told this years ago at a self-defense thing at a corporate retreat type of event, and I wondered if it was ever going to be useful or just something to pad out the teacher's session. Then, a decade later, I was on the street late at night on my way home, and someone approached me and asked for the time. I did this, told him the time, and he just kinda stood there. Then he started asking some weird, clearly improvised, question about how he was looking for his friend's house, and he was sure it was on that street, and he had a yellow car similar to the one behind me. I didn't look back but just said yeah, yellow, and he pointed directly behind me. I said yeah, the yellow car. I saw it as I walked by. So, he paused for a second, looking like that meme of the woman with the equations around her head, then just yelled "Oh, duck you," and stormed off. It was only afterwards I realized that I think he wanted me to look away so he could slug me, but he wasn't prepared to attack someone that was looking right at him. I used to bicycle commute through a bad neighborhood 99.99% of the time. I had no issues. I had an old bicycle and didn't look like I had money. One morning though, 14 stepped into the street, forming a loose line across my path. One said "Hey man, got a light?" and I knew that it was bullshit. I didn't slow down or talk with them. I looked one of the kids directly in the eye, aimed my bicycle at him, and pedaled as hard as I could. He instinctively jumped out of the way, and the others were caught off guard so they didn't attempt to grab me. Maybe not your life, but someone else's. If you're having a party, regardless of nature, and someone needs to go to the hospital, call a duck-in ambulance. There are laws to protect you, but getting a citation is a lot less trouble than having someone die in your home. Same goes for if you're attending the party. Don't worry about the homeowner's tenants. Worry about the person whose life is at risk. If a snake bites you and locks its jaw, run its head under cold water. If you whip a snake like a towel, assuming it's done correctly, it breaks the snake's neck, killing it. To get a dog to detach after locking its jaw, stick your finger up its butt. Also works in a situation where you can't dislodge two people. A quick ball fondle will separate them. Edit. I'm told that the finger up the butt does not work on dogs and a hose in the face or mouth is more effective. Edit 2. My most upvoted thing on Reddit is about fingering dogs and ball fondling. Sounds about right. If you are arguing with someone and they suddenly become more quiet, nod with a hum expression, break eye contact and look away, often to the side or over their shoulder. You're about to be sucker punched. The amount of people that I've seen get dropped this way is frankly staggering, and taking a shot to the jaw can be extremely dangerous.